All right, Chavra, we're gonna start. Boker Tov. Let's do one more time. Achas shalti meis Hashem, meis Hashem, ois avakesh. Achas shalti meis Hashem, meis Hashem, ois avakesh. Shifti beveis Hashem, kol yemei chayim. Lazar Bnei Hashem, ulevaker b'cholai. Shifti beveis Hashem, kol yemei chayai. Lazar Bnei Hashem, ulevaker b'cholai. Achas shalti meis Hashem, ois avakesh. Achas shalti meis Hashem, ois avakesh. Shifti beveis Hashem, kol yemei chayai. Lazar Bnei Hashem, ulevaker b'cholai. Shifti beveis Hashem, kol yemei chayai. Lazar Bnei Hashem, ulevaker b'cholai. Good morning, everybody. We're on Daf Zayin. We're in this letter that we began last week. We did the first half last week, and we're going to finish it today, Be'ezer Hashem. Everyone has Sfarim? Does anyone need a photocopy? Are there extra Sfarim? Or they're all gone? Okay. There wasn't the Aron. We'll see whatever it is. I made some photocopies for those that need. Chayv, I'm going to plug us back into it, where we were. This beautiful letter from Reb Usher that was written in Nisan, Tafshin Lamed Aleph, probably March or April 1971, which began to describe to us what eternal, soulful friendships are all about. Eternal, soulful friendships are all about one thing, recognizing the Ribono Shel Olam didn't make a mistake by putting us in this door. The Ribono Shel Olam didn't make a mistake by putting us in this door with the people that we're living with the people that we're growing with the people that live in our neighborhood, and to the Chevra online, with those that plugged in online. This is not lo stam. It is a purpose for each and every interaction. There's a purpose for it. It's an inyan. Avi, there's a photocopy on the page. So we have to acknowledge that. That's first of all. And second of all is l'shem ma. And for what were these relationships and friendships established? What was the reason for them? What is it for? And Reb Usher began to explain to us that a real friendship looks at each other and says, let's figure out our obligation together. What's our obligation? To come to the deepest and most clearest understanding that the yesod of our kiyum is one thing and one thing only. That the yesod of our kiyum is emunah. The yesod of our kiyum is emunah. That is what we were learning last week. This is a letter that he was writing back to someone that was struggling, that was suffering. And he's telling his friend, he said, if we want to be real, we have to realize we're here to figure out what our obligation is in this world. To realize that the yesod of our kiyum is emunah and go weiter. And we ended off last week by saying that the tzaddikim were operating from that place only. That's the only place they were operating from. And in their schus, we have a chance to even approach the Heichal of the Melech. That the tzaddikim woke up in the morning with a clear understanding. The only reason why I woke up in the morning, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is because you have faith that I can do what you want me to do this day in the world. That's how they woke up, and that's how they went to sleep. And that's what it was throughout the day. Now, nachon, that's a very, very high maila. That's a very, very high maila. But Reb Usher is pushing us to live a life of a very, very high maila. This is not for beginners. The Sefer, we've said this so many times. This is a game changer in everything about our lives. This Sefer has definitely opened us up in a way that the other Sfarim, every Sefer does its thing. This Sefer plugs thing in a different way. You could never go home and tell your wife a vort from Reb Usher. There are no vorts here. What did Reb Usher say today? Well, the yesod of our kiyum is it's not how this one works. It's pushing us big time, which is exactly what we need during the month of Elul. So we're gonna, if you go on Daf Chet, we're starting today from the the third line, Uchashem, and Dafchet. Uchashem שהגדולים האלה ביקשו ומצאו את יסוד קיומם באחיזתם, the tzaddikim, the gdolim, found. Well, first of all, there's another word before found. What's the word? Bikshu. They also asked for it. And the shaila is, do we have enough guts to ask for it? To dirshu Hashem be'imatza. Most of us are more keen on, I want to find it. Eibush says, but do you want to ask for it? Like, do you want to ask for it or not? Like, we're always big with our children. How do you say something? How do you say, right? How do you say? It's a very big Indian with mannering, parenting. No, how do you ask for something? Right? Give me that. No. Say, please, we're all very big on this. They were sure too. The tzaddikim, Agdolim made a bikshu. They asked for it. Has there been one thing we've asked for this Elul? We've actually asked Hashem. Agdolim Eile bikshu v'matzu es yesod kiyumam v'achizasam. They asked for it and they found their, what's the right wording here, their source of life. They found that which makes them tick. What makes them tick, what makes us tick for real, is finding the pillar of Emunah inside of us. That's the yesod of our kiyum. Kach gam anu mitzuvim levakesh velimtza shleimus yesod v'sod ha-kiyum. We're also commanded to ask and then to find the shleimus of the foundation and the secret of what makes us tick. And only then, oaz nemale be'ahava u'besimcha es hashlichus shehutla aleinu. Then you could actually be in love with that which you were sent down to this world to do. Ve'etza ha'amuka midas elyon beredatenu la'olam hazeh. And you'll also have the etza that you need in order, and this is different for each person, but you could actually find a manual of how does Shlomo tick? What makes Hershey tick? What causes Zev to tick? There is a manual. It is only found. You keep on turning your head. Not Emmanuel, a manual. It's like his name called. That happened a lot growing up? Not so much. Okay. So they are, but the truth is, in a really weird way, you only feel Emmanuel when you find a manual. That's a very, when you find the manual for what makes you tick, then what sense comes with it? Ki imanu kel. No pressure, but you should show up every year because it works. It stems perfectly. We'll find the Eitzah from Das Elyon as we come down into this world. So Reb Usher now is pushing us even further, and this is what Am Yisrael in 2025, Tafshin Pehei, what we've been going through, Tafshin Pei Dalet and Tafshin Pehei, this is a very strong thing. Not only will you have a sense of how to do that which you're supposed to do with love and with joy, but something else will happen as well. This should be a Geulah right now for all the Yidden that are still suffering, bifrat the torturous evil that our Chatufim and their families are still going through. What ends up happening also is that Golus has an end game. You start to feel it. You start to live it. The real tzaddikim did not live in Golus. They lived in Geulah. Their whole being was in Geulah, as a very clear Geulah-dika life. V'kama neharot shel dam Yisrael nishpechu al yedei soneinu, and how many rivers of blood have been spilled by our enemies. Ve'az yizgale le'ene kol hayesod ha'amiti shelanu. What will be revealed in the eyes of everyone? Our true emes-dika, most authentic foundation. V'tikvas geulasenu, and the hope for our redemption, asher haisa tzfuna belibeinu. Now I want to really I want to extend on this nikuda. These words they really touch the core. I'm going to say it again. Ve'az yizgale le'ene kol, it'll be revealed to everyone, hayesod ha'amiti shelanu, what makes us really tick. The whole world will see, you, Am Yisrael, you're Bnei Nevi'im, you're Bnei Emunah, you're Emunah. That's why I'm so downhearted when Israel chooses to speak about itself as the high-tech, startup nation, that kind of lashon. That has nothing to do with etzem yesod kiyumenu. It's a great thing. Great. Sometimes it could be a great thing. But can you imagine the world looks at us and says, you're all Bnei Emunah. Wow, you're people of faith. Yizgala la'einei kol. But before it happens to the world, amongst Klal Yisrael, it's going to be. We are all people of Emunah. Everyone in this room right now is a person of Emunah, person of faith. It's a gewalt. Pashut. And then what else will become revealed? Tikvat geulatenu, the hope of our Geulah. Asher haita, where was the hope of our Geulah? Tzfuna belibenu. What's tzafun?
Hidden.
It was there in the heart, but it's been hidden and tucked away. You ask a Yidla, do you believe in Geulah? Absolutely. How's it going to happen? Enni musag. Do you think it's going to happen? Enni musag. Do you believe in the concept? It's there. Reb Shlomo said it's the best. Reb Shlomo said this the best. 1973, Erev Yom Kippur, Reb Shlomo said it like this. He said, if you ask a Yidla, do you believe in the coming of the Mashiach? And he says to you, yes. And then you ask him, how is he going to come? And you say, I have no idea. It means you don't believe in the coming of Mashiach. It's not a stagnant, stale statement, I believe in the coming of Mashiach. And he quotes the Rambam. It's Mishnah Torah. And he sang this, Hamamim beviat HaMashiach. העניין הוא שאני מאמין בעם ישראל שיש בכוחם להביא את המשיח. אמונה בביאת המשיח היא אמונה בקדושת עם ישראל. You know, I have the video of this. When he said this, it was a TV show he did. Once he said that, I actually started to believe in that I can get to a place of believing in Mashiach coming. What does it mean? Believing in Mashiach, and you have no idea how it's going to come, means you're not plugged into the most essential part of believing in Mashiach. Believing in the Kedusha of Am Yisrael. Sheyesh bekocham le'avi et HaMashiach. That we can bring Mashiach. How? Because I believe that Emunah will eventually, Emunah being the yesod of our kiyum, will eventually be the Metziut HaNiglet, the revealed reality, by every single Jew. By the biggest kofar in the world. Or by the biggest Rav who should have definitely gone into, I don't know, architecture and not in Rabbanas, right? We have many chevra we wish they never went into Rabbana, right? But by every Yid, it doesn't matter who they are. It's tzafun beliboy. It's hidden in their hearts. But it's not revealed in their hearts. You walk into so many shuls, you start talking Mashiach talk, and it's already like you're an outsider. What are you talking about? Just show, like, what committee are you signing up for? That's what matters. And a Yidla can still believe in Mashiach despite all the pain and horror that we've gone through. Like he continues, Al af machshavos hatuga, al arichus hagolus, despite all the thoughts of grief that are basically a result of how long this golus is taking, asher nidme she'eina nigmeres la'olam, which seems to be like never ending. Like many of us had this Mashiach, it's coming October 8th, 9th, 10th, maybe November. Even Avi, I hate to bring it up, you brought up once, you were very excited because a certain Rav said, by Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the war will be over and Mashiach will come. Not exactly. It's not what happened. I stood on stage one time at the Kotel on Yom Yerushalayim. There's 100,000 mamish. They said like 90,000 Yidden. Looked like 600,000. Yom Yerushalayim at the end of the parade. So I used to play there with Chaim David at the end of the what's it called? Rikud Galim, right? Risuv Sharim Rikud Galim, and it was heartbreaking. There was a big tzaddik. He's not in this world anymore. He got up on stage, and it was 3 months before the Gerush from Gush Katif, and he got up and he said, "Hayo lo tiyeh." It won't be. It won't be. It won't be. And the crowd that year, the whole crowd was wearing orange because that was the color of those that were Hayo lo tiyeh. It won't be. And as hard as that was to experience, that he said Hayo lo tiyeh, and we experienced zvaot. Zvaot that we still haven't begun to deal with the trauma of it, on an emotional level. On a physical level, we are impacted fully by the trauma of it. That it seems like the Geulah keeps on going longer and longer, and despite all the promises and everything that's happening, it's like not happening. And yet what? We're still sitting here. So what does that say about us? That we are attached to this emunah that's tzafun belibeinu. And we're not banking on promises even from the holiest, well-intentioned tzaddikim, because we're operating from something else. We're operating from a place that Reb Usher calls the yesod of our kiyum, the foundation of our existence, which is the emunah pshuta that every single Jew has, and all we're trying to do is get access to. Fifth line from the bottom of this paragraph, Veichzaknu ma'amad, the only way we've been holding on this whole time, and it doesn't make sense. Any other explanation to the survival and thrival of the Jewish people does not make sense. Yichzaknu ma'amad rak ba'emunah geulah b'vias HaMashiach. ובזכות זו עצמן נזכה לראות את הגאולה בעינינו, אנו, לא רק באמונה, כי אם בפועל ממש. Reb Usher said, for tzaddikim of yesteryear, for tzaddikim until this time, it was enough to see Mashiach through living emunah. And he's saying, but us, and he's saying this, how many years ago? 53 years ago. 53 years ago, but for us, we're going to see the emunah b'foal mamish. I heard recently the Chofetz Chaim was asked, are we going to see Mashiach? The Chofetz Chaim said this. And he says, I'm not sure we're going to see Mashiach, but someone that's alive right now will see Mashiach. Someone that's alive right now will see Mashiach. That's getting gnarly as well, because when was the Chofetz Chaim? When was the Chofetz Chaim nifter? Like what era, what years?
20s.
So what are we going on? Not hundreds. No, 19. The beginning of the 20th century. Oh yeah. So there are few chaver that are, But honestly, at this rate, we've seen already that even if that doesn't happen, that's not going to change anything about us. It's not going to change anything about us. ומן הכלל תלמד על הפרט. מתהלוכוס עם ישראל בכל דורותיו, כך אפשר לדמוס לכל אחד ופרט מישראל. Just take a look at where we've been and look at what's going to be. כשבאים עליו חס ושלום הגלים הזדונים של שעה קשה חס ושלום. When malicious waves חס ושלום overtake you, when a malicious wave comes and overtakes you, like seeing images of your sisters getting raped or babies being put in ovens again after all these years, or heart-wrenching footage of our chatufim, vehu memashesh ba'afela, and you're groping in darkness, trying to, that's what it felt like, trying to touch something, trying to feel something, trying to get a breath of air. ובכל רגע הוא מסתכן, והולך שלא יאבד שארית תקוותו, מחמס הייסורים האיומים והנוראים העוברים עליו. And that every single second is like a danger zone, because you're like, if I keep on looking for light and not find light, what will happen to my psyche? So I assume, world tells me, science tells me, psychology tells me, that if I keep on trying to find light, and I'm in darkness, and I get more and more darkness, so what does the world tell me? Miyad.
There isn't anyone.
In the name of? Sanity. In the name of sanity. If that was the case, Yiddelach should have given up. When? Huh? Either in Mitzrayim. Let's go a little bit later. A little bit later. Yeah. Well, Churban Bayis Rishon. Definitely Churban Bayis Sheni. Right? Definitely Chalmanitsky. Definitely the Inquisition. Definitely Siberia. Definitely 1945. Definitely October 8th. And yet, and all in the name of sanity. Not in the name of, God forbid, becoming evil people. Let's do whatever we want. But in the name of mental health, that's what the world's talking about. You want to get people to come to a shul and a shiur. If you don't put up mental health on the title, you're not going to get a crowd these days. That's the whole zach. Everything has to be about that. And it's true, but our real mental health comes from a different place, Reb Usher is saying. The aside of our kiyum. Top left column. ובעושה הוא מסעקש בכל כוחו, בנפשו להסגבר ולהסחזק, ולקבל הכל באהבה ובשמחה, and dafka in those moments that I can't touch light. I don't have any access to anything. It doesn't seem that there's anything here that's going to be helping me. Nothing. But dafka in that zman, you keep it, you say, I'm going to keep my hand reached out for another few seconds. ובעושה הוא מסעקש בכל כוחו ונפשו להסגבר ולהסחזק ולקבל הכל באהבה ובשמחה. Mishum, like yesterday, the father of one of the chatufim that was returned, I can't pronounce his last name, Idan Shituvi, I think, or Shituyi. It was last week. Remember, Shituvi, is that the last name? The father got up from Shiva yesterday, after torture, and what's the first thing he says? Am Yisrael chai, anachnu mamshichim. Oh, I'm worried about his mental health. He shouldn't say Am Yisrael chai, anachnu mamshichim. No, he's plugged into. We are witnessing a generation that, if you really look deeper, we're plugging into neshamas that are plugged into something that has to do with Chaim Nitzchim. I'll share with you, Rachel Goldberg sent me a list this week of what she wants her chuppah to look like. Rachel Goldberg, the almanah of Reb Avi Goldberg, 8 children, choosing life, getting remarried. He spoke about it in shul a few weeks ago. 2-hour women's tish before she goes to her second chuppah. What does she want to be sung? What nigun does she want? Ve'ahavas oilam ha'avtich, al ken meshachti chassid. Ahavas oilam ha'avtich? Ma ze? It's from this place. Mishum shehu makir ladat, 4th line, ki HaKadosh Baruch Hu mistater bechol elu ha'yesurim. Hard, high level. We have no chance. We have no option to not acknowledge that this is a big, big piece of the avodah. Harei bekoach zeh, with this koach of knowing that there's love behind this affliction, mitapech ha'ke'ev ha'amok beyoter, the deepest pain gets mishapech, changes over, la'or hayoter ne'erav. You know what ne'erav means? Lashon? So what does arev over here mean? Sweet. But I also want to say it means the other meaning as well. What's arevut? To be a guarantor. Now you're tasting the arevim zelazeh. You're tasting a love, a sweet love of guarantor, of responsibility, of mutual, whatever the words are in Hebrew, we have to distinct it. In this darkness, in this pain. And it's, what is it called? Or HaGanuz lemala min hateva. Let me ask you, Chaver, when we've referenced Or HaGanuz before, who do we always, kimat always, reference that to? Who has access to Or HaGanuz? Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Reb Shimon. The Arizal. The Baal Shem, Reb Chaim Vital. The Ramak. Right? Reb Moshe Cordovero. The Ramami Pano. Reb David Moshe Vali, these giants, right? The Baal Shem, Reb Nachman, we're looking at this world of people. What does it mean to taste Or HaGanuz? Which means, what does it mean to feel love when you have every reason in the world to think that God hates you for what He did to you? It means that you're tasting Or HaGanuz. This is concealed light, which is lemala min hateva. Vehu nichlal be'or hanitzchi. You become included in eternal light, which nothing and nobody can touch. No one can touch. HaChoshech mimeno v'hala, mishum shehu apach liot leor Yahel, leor olam. Besides it being one of Yaniv Tzadi's brother's names, have you ever heard the word Yahel before? What does Yahel come from? What's Hilah? It's a halo. It's a halo. It's a halo. I don't know. Huh? Tehila קשורה לזה לגמרי. לגמרי. Yahalom, I don't know. I don't think so, but
It's Yuhelam, correct? It's part of.
I don't know. I'm not Sifrut. That was my.
Shiny.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying because it seems like there could be some kind of a kesher there. But Or Yahel, you're Nichlal Be'or HaNitzchi. You're being included in eternal light because you transform something. Now you're in a different world. Or Yahel, the Or Olam, Mishum Kach. And therefore Reb Usher says to his friend, Ani mevakesh mimcha me'od. All I'm asking from you very much. שתשתדל להחזיק מעמד בכל המצבים ובכל העיתות של האדם. Hold on tight. והסבלנות והסבל יביאך לבטח, לתכליס האמיתי, ולאור הנצח ולתיקון העולמוס על ידי האמונה הפשוטה. And all the tzabrochenkite and all the pain and suffering. You know, we're in a room with people that have mamish suffered. You could say this in every room. But I know, people in this room have mamish suffered. They've suffered from broken homes, abusive parents, divorces, losing siblings, losing parents at wacky ages, a lot of different things. All the gute Sachen, in parentheses, obviously. And yet I get so inspired by seeing Chevra that they're ticking. They don't know exactly what makes them tick, but they keep on going. It's because when you taste the world that Reb Usher is inviting us into, you don't have to give explanations to everything. You're in another zone. You know, Hanan is putting out Hashivenu in a few weeks. I call it Ar Hashivenu. I was sitting with him a few weeks ago, and I said to him, "Shtedar לך, קשה לי מאוד שאתה הולך לשחרר את השיר Hashivenu." It's very hard for me that other people are. Yeah. he was like, זה מוזר, אני גם, כשאני חושב על זה, אני גם חושב עליכם, כאילו, you know.
You see, it took a year.
Yeah. So ממש a year. So I'll give you a preview of what's on it. We had a machshava to come here and record all the children in the shul to sing and for that to be on the album. But something happened during the recording. I gave him a recording of Reb Shlomo talking about freedom. And Reb Shlomo says there that once God gives you freedom, no one can take it away from you. That's why everything is Zeichel Yetzias Mitzrayim, because we once tasted freedom, and no one can take it away from us. Reb Shlomo says you could put us into a gas chamber, you could put us into Siberia, you could hit us, curse us, do all these things, and you can't understand. How do you keep on going? It's because freedom is a gift from heaven. And when you receive a gift from heaven, no one in the world can take it away from you. So what did this Mashur going to do, Hanan? He called me and he said, I want you to come to the studio, listen to the new album. Drove up to Caesarea, he's a brand new studio, his studio manager lives up there. And it's lamish, like a life of Malibu. It's like the world I know from LA. It's like, they have a house by the water and the beach is 20 meters from the house, but no, you have to have a pool also in the house because, you know, mafdil ben mayim lamayim, you have to have, right? It's just sitting there and it's like, okay, this is definitely not what I'm used to here in Eretz HaKodesh. And then he says, okay, chshav teshev, and he puts on Hashivenu. And in the middle of Hashivenu, after Chadesh, suddenly there's an amazing instrumental. And then you hear, friends, freedom is a gift from heaven. He put it on the album.
That is wild.
But why am I sharing it? Because it's what Reb Usher just said. Zot omeret, once you realize what makes you tick, which is emunah equals freedom. Not freedom to do what you want to do. faket. Emunah is freedom to serve God the way that your neshama wants to serve God. And when you're plugged into there, you're mehapech, you flip over bitterness into sweetness. And the world can't explain it. By the way, you can't explain it either. Don't try giving it over to somebody. You could explain the inyan of Zeichel Yetzias Mitzrayim to somebody? You can't. It's an HaGanuz. It's from the concealed light. You can't explain these things. And that's why he's begging his friend. He's like, listen, we don't know what the tzaras the friend had. We don't know the letter that the friend wrote to Reb Usher, but you could just imagine what it was. And he's saying to him, hold on, because if you remember this Sichas Chaverim, maybe you could tune into the Or Yahel, this light, this halo, that then puts you into a completely different world. Ani ma'achel lachem ichulim tovim miyedid emet. I'm wishing you good wishes from your true friend, asher ahavatcha shmura belibi velo tinatek leolam. That your love is saved in my heart and won't be disconnected forever. And I hope, brothers that are here, you're the pulse of the shul. I pray that you guys feel the same thing about each other. Like, I really, really hope so. I really hope you're brave enough to tell someone with so much love, I need this from you. And not just wait for something to happen and pretend that there's elephants in the room that no one are talking about. I give you a bracha to be bold enough to trust that Hashem put us in the world to expose our love to each other and to say things, to trust that we have to say things to each other even if it's difficult, but knowing that love is the basis, that love is the base of it all. Then he wishes him Chag Pesach Kasher V'Sameach, Hamshichu na b'amiras Tehillim v'tisku la'alos l'chol ha'madrigos v'ha'maylos ma'az brias ha'olam v'ad ata. That's pretty nice, right? V'tisku la'or ha'netzach, and you should merit the light of eternity, b'zchus avodasam shel kol tzaddikim ha'amitim, in the merit of all the tzaddikim that have been telling us this and have been revealing us this. Anyone that's ever tasted HaGanuz, this is what they're talking about. This is what they're talking about. Ani tikva shemichtavi zeh yechakuk al luach libcha. I hope that the letter that I just wrote over here will be engraved on the luach of your heart. Ve'al yado timtza'o lehikalel be'anetzach. And through this letter, you could find a way to be included amongst eternity. Ya'anik lachem es yesod chayechem la'ad u'le'olmei olamim. Amen. It's like every email. This is how we sign off all our emails also. Right? You know? That's how we sign off, right? Anyway, brothers, it's a schuz to journey, to have this, to learn Torahs like this. I believe very much that the Sfarim that we end up learning, it's not that I chose them. I was telling the women yesterday in the women's shiur, we started a new shiur, a new series on parenting. I'm going to send it out to the men too, because really it's not a women's. It happens to be I'm teaching it by the women, and they get a little bit more excited about parenting shiurim than men do. Men do, it's more like, oh God, you know, but women are like so excited to learn new Sachen about parenting. Men are more like, I don't want to feel bad. But I'm going to send it out anyway. Not to make you feel bad, but you know, just like, because it's part of the same thing. And I'm telling you, this is, Reb Usher's Torah has been on the shelf for years, and it stared me in the eye every time I walked into the room, and it's these eyes where I'm like, please don't look at me. I can't deal with this now. But by this year, it was just like, no. It was already last year, after Pesach we started. It's like, I think we're now this man of elevation, of evolution, of going to another madrega. And I'm just so thankful that we have the schus to learn these Torahs. Rabbi Joey Rosenfeld came up to me Motzei Shabbos. He said to me, it's like the third time he's told me this in the last 2 weeks. Mamish, I've seen, we keep on bumping into each other, and he told me, it is very, very good that you did not stop with Reb Usher after you started for a few months, because he was nivhal that he saw. We started for 2 months. It was just his man. It was the summer's man. It's like, it's very good, very important. You didn't stop after you basically said that you guys didn't get freaked out and realize, you can just go back to something else. And I'll just say that Rav Joey is one of the greatest secrets of our door. And you don't hear me talk about young chevra like this. I'm telling you. So if he's saying something like this, we take it very seriously. Very, very seriously. So anyway, we should just bask in the light of Yesod of our Kiyum, of our Emunah, and we'll continue another letter on next Monday. This Wednesday, we're back to the Maimer of the Talmud Rebbe about the Tkiyas. We have a lot of answers we still have to get to, but very, very important. Thursday night, 9 p.m. at the house of David Jerome, Chai Elul Farbrengen, myself and Reb Shlomo, and every one of you. Chazak. Zazman, it's now. Shabbos with Nisim. Literally, there'll be Nisim, there'll be Nisei Nisim, there'll be a lot of good stuff. Slichos Motzei Shabbos. I want every single person there for the concert and the davening. We have to represent a much bigger picture. This whole town has to be, we all have to wake up. It's time to show up. It's time to be awake. It's time to be alive. Hashem didn't put us here stam. We have to be together and go weiter. And hopefully, as we go weiter, Hashem will have Rahmanas and Neshamas and make finding the Yesod of our Kiyum more accessible to us as we go along in our way. Shukayach, everybody.